What's the crack, you feckin' lulas, and welcome back to my channel. So I thought I'd do a midnight chat. I don't know what's happened to my voice, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a midnight chat about something I've been thinking about quite a bit lately. To quote the great John Mayer, moving on and getting over are not the same, it seems to me. Which is so fucking true. You think because you've moved on to someone else that you're over the previous person. That is not always the case. So I wanted to talk about that because it's been on my mind quite a bit. I'm doing it as a midnight chat video because it's not going to be very structured. Like, I haven't thought about this like in detail, and I didn't have any structure to it because my life right now doesn't feel very structured. It's the way I'm feeling at the moment. I don't feel very structured. So I decided to do it in this format and just kind of have a little chat and just tell you my thoughts as they come. So where do I start with it then? Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. I can't sing, I apologize, I'm very sorry. So yes, moving on, getting over. Not the same. It's not the same thing. So like when you break up with someone, the first thing you have to do is kind of just, deal with it, accept it, and move on. A lot of people just say that, you've got to move on, but they never say you've got to get over it. It sounds very harsh when you say that. It's like just get over it, but they always say, oh yeah, just deal with it and move on. And that's fine, but you have to get over it as well. And I think that's very key, and I think that's more important than moving on, because you can go into a relationship and not actually have dealt with the previous relationship, and you bring all that kind of stuff into the new relationship, and that's not good. So it is important that you deal with it appropriately and then can go into a new relationship fresh. I mean, obviously we'll have our own baggage and whatever, but you have to be able to be completely over the previous person before you get into another relationship. And I have made this mistake many times in my life where I've just tried to move on and get over the other person by moving on, like using another person to get over another person. Like it's not good, So with my previous boyfriend, when I got with him, I wasn't over the boyfriend before him. I hadn't dealt with it properly. I was just kind of distracting myself with hanging out with my current boyfriend, and we were just friends at the time. So I wasn't using him. I obviously just loved to hang out with him, but I was spending all my time with him, so I didn't have to kind of think about the fact that I'm not with the other guy. And then it kind of just turned into a relationship with that guy, but I hadn't dealt with my previous boyfriend. So when I first got with Andy, I was trying to just forget about the other guy. We'll call him Bob because I don't want to use his real name or anything. We'll call him Bob. So I hadn't dealt with Bob, and I still had feelings for him, and we'd still kind of see Bob like all the time because we were both friends with him. So we kind of see him like in work, and we kind of we hung out with him like a little bit. And I hadn't dealt with that, so I was seeing him and I was kind of getting feelings for him, but then I was obviously with Andy, and it was just not good, and it caused problems between me and Andy. Obviously, I got over it and it was fine, but the first couple of months was not good for us because I wasn't dealing with Bob and my feelings for Bob, and that wasn't fair on Andy as well. So yeah, I basically just had to deal with that while in a new relationship, and it's not good. It's not good. I got over it and we ended up having a great relationship, but it's just, you can't move on too quickly because it's just going to cause problems. So what I tend to do, and what probably a lot of people tend to do when they get in a relationship, they get upset, yes, they cry, but then they'll just okay, I'm going to go on to the next person. I'm going to find out who else is out there because I don't want to be alone, and I just need to move on. And you kind of just distract yourself with other people, and you think because you're getting excited about all these new people, and there's butterflies, and there's excitement, and there's flirtation, and there's confusion, and there's all these different feelings, that because you're feeling all that, it makes you think that, oh, I must be over this other person because they're not on my mind. I'm preoccupied with all this other things going on. I don't think that's actually the case. I think that because you're so distracted about it, you're not thinking about it, yes, but that means you're not dealing with it as well. There's emotions that you haven't dealt with, you haven't really properly sat down and thought, this is, good because this blah blah blah, it's good that we're not together, and worked out everything. I know from previous experience that like I tend to just be like, well, I don't need to think about it, I'll just move on and distract myself, and you know, I'll be happy and it'll work out, you know, fake it till I make it kind of thing. But I think it's so important to actually sit down and think in depth about your previous relationship, and just giving yourself some space to kind of just deal with that and kind of just grieve the relationship, because like it is kind of like a death, it's kind of like a loss, it's a life that you would have had with this person that you're giving up and you're losing. It takes time, it's not going to be like an instant thing. Like when you see someone new, you're completely over this other person that meant so much to you. Yes, you can be attracted to someone else, yes, you can be like really like someone else, but you still haven't dealt with this relationship. And I think most relationships deserve that time to grieve it, because it did mean something to you and it was a big part of your life. And if you don't deal with that properly, it's just going to keep creeping up in the future and in other relationships, and it's just going to hit you a lot harder than you're expecting. So if you deal with it straight away, you like thoroughly deal with it, give yourself some space, give yourself some time, hopefully it won't creep up again and it won't like affect any mental health stuff or relationship stuff, because it so easily can. Like you'll be absolutely fine one day, you'll be absolutely like loving life, and then the next day it'll hit you hard and you'll be like crying in bed like real hard and question everything. And not that I know, not that I've dealt with this in like my experiences in my life, you know, no, of course not, you know, that's never happened to me, I'm so stable all the time. Obviously I'm not, I mean that's obviously a joke. I don't claim to know everything, like I know I don't know everything, and I'm always learning, but I'm trying to do better. And I'm trying to just make sure that I'm the happiest I can ever be. I'm trying to just focus on myself right now and getting over rather than moving on, because it's more important. Moving on is when you are over someone, so you have to make sure that you are completely okay with the relationship ending and not being with that person for the rest of your life. So I just want to emphasize how much you need to get over someone before moving on, because it'll just I can't even, you know, this is why I went for like a midnight chat thing, because I can't talk, because I like my head's all over the place. Like I said, that's what I'm focusing on right now, just getting over and dealing with that. And it's not easy, but that's okay as well. I mean, yes, I'm getting old, I'm 29 now, and you know, this stage of your life, you're kind of like, you need to be like getting on with it, you know, finding that person, you know, having the babies, getting married, you know, all that shite. And I don't think it's shite, obviously, it's stuff I want to do, but you get told, you know, as you get older, you know, you should be like, you know, settling down, you know, all that kind of pressure that you don't need, because you have to focus on yourself and be happy and, you know, make sure that you're okay before you dive into all that. So, you know, yeah, I do want to be getting on. I do want to be, you know, finding that person I'm supposed to be with. I do want to have babies and I do want to get married, but I can't just force it, because it's not going to turn out well if I try and force something and it doesn't really fit. But it's like, I'll just go with the energy so I can have all these things. It's best to just be happy within yourself and within your life and see what happens, and what is meant for you will happen. So it could be a chance where I don't have kids, or I don't find that person I'm supposed to be with, or maybe later in life where some of these things can't happen. But I'm a very optimistic person, so I believe that I'm going to find what I need to find, and I'll be happy and I'll live the life I'm supposed to live. But I need to look after myself and not feel under pressure because other people have moved on and are doing things with their life that I want to be doing but I'm not doing currently. You know, I can't be focusing on that and putting pressure on myself or letting other people put pressure on me. Like, that's not good. But I just wanted to put that message out there because I feel like it's so important. Like, people just think that moving on and getting over are the same thing, and they're absolutely not. Like, they're two very separate things, and people should be aware of that, because it could cause so many problems with yourself and with the relationship, next relationship. So just make sure that you are completely over someone before you get into something else. And even if you're not, but you are interested in someone else, just be open with them. Just tell them, like, listen, this is where I'm at. I'm not completely over my ex, but I do like you. We're going to have to take things slow, or I'm going to have to work on myself before we get into anything. If they really like you, they'll wait. If they don't, then you don't want to be with them anyway. So you kind of just have to be open and honest with yourself and with other people, and make sure you're completely over someone before you get into another relationship. And sometimes you don't even know, like, that's the annoying thing. You won't know if you're over someone or not, because you could think you are. It's like, oh yeah, I've dealt with that, and then get into a relationship and then something can trigger it. Like recently, I was absolutely fine. I was grand with everything. I was happy. I was just out with friends, and then a song came on. It wasn't even me and Andy's song. It was a song that Andy loved, and I've heard it many times since we've broken up, but it was just that one particular night, and I kind of was just like, oh fuck. And I got like in a very weird place. I don't think I cried. I just got like, I was just weird, and I was just off for the rest of the night because of that. So it's little things that can get you, and that's why you should take as much time as you possibly can to get over something, because it could be a little thing that triggers you after months and months. So you just gotta make sure that you're dealing with everything. But it's hard and it's tough, and I mean, I don't even know all the answers. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm learning as I'm doing this. I don't know if this is even the right advice, but this is just how I'm feeling right now, and I think it's important, and I think that I'm doing the right thing. Just give myself some time, because I haven't really done that. I've been focusing, distracting myself with other people and friends and going out and just keeping an eye out, and I shouldn't be doing that. I just gotta live my life, deal with the breakup properly, Sarah, and then see what happens. That is my plan. So that was my video for the week. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know what it's going to be like until I edit it, but I hope it's okay. I hope it makes sense. I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling right now. This is just where my headspace is at, so I thought I'd just, you know, reflect that in my channel. Please give this video a wee thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment section what your opinion is on getting over and moving on. Do you think they're the same things, or do you think they're completely separate? Let me know what your experiences are with that. Okay, so I'm gonna go to bed. You know, I need to rest this noggin. It's overthinking again, and it just needs a little bit of a snooze, you know, as you do. So yes, thank you for watching, and I'll have a better video next week. A more structured video next week. I'll plan it out, and it'll be great. Well, I can't guarantee that, because I don't know if it's gonna be great. Hopefully it is. Okay, that's enough talking from me. Okay, I love you, bye-bye.